Padlock is the intelligent tool for website lead generation. With increasing online competition, over 98% of website visitors don't convert. The ability to successfully show your value proposition and support visitors in their buying journey separates you from the competition online. Padlock qualifies and converts users on your website by figuring out where they are in the buying journey and influencing them in key decision moments with relevant micro experiences such as case studies, intro videos, and much more. Stay relevant to your visitors and increase conversion by 50%. Add Padlock's website in seconds. Let the artificial intelligence do all the work. Get access to 50% more qualifying leads to keep doing marketing yourself as usual. Check us out on .com. On today's episode of Padlock Presents, I have a really special guest with me joining here today. Please welcome Katherine Lehman, and she is a digital director of marketing for OnFleet. So all of you who don't know, OnFleet, they power millions of deliveries every week with thousands of businesses around the world across a wide range of industries. But Katherine is going to give you more of an insight here. Thank you so much for joining us today, Katherine. I'm really happy to have you here and learn more about you and ultimately all the great things you guys are doing at OnFleet and just learning more about your growth story. So super excited for this conversation today, and thanks for joining.
Thank you so much. I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, absolutely. So for all of the listeners out there, give us an insight. What exactly is OnFleet?
So OnFleet is, excuse me, OnFleet is a last mile delivery software provider. So that last piece of the journey where the package gets into the hands of the customer, that's the last mile. So our goal is to optimize the last mile and make it as delightful as possible for both the companies doing business and the customers.
Awesome. So in terms of your clients, who would you say are your clients? Do you have certain sectors that OnFleet caters to more than others, or would you say it's overall industry agnostic?
It is industry agnostic, but we have definitely some of our best fit ideal customers, and that would be like delivery service providers. So we call them DSPs, couriers, large operations that do like scheduled deliveries. So like grocery, pharmacy, construction, where ahead of time, I'm going to need my groceries delivered on Thursday, or I need my medication each month. Any type of those scheduled deliveries, those are kind of the customers that we work the best with, but we do have customers all over the place in all different industries, utilizing the OnFleet software to optimize.
That's going to be an insight. Now, in terms of your clients, how would you say that they typically find OnFleet? What would you say is your top one acquisition channel? Is it more digital marketing? Is it inbound? Is it outbound? Or would you say it's a mix of a lot of things currently?
It's a mix of a lot of things. Our strongest channel is just organic, right? People come in, they find us, they search for us on Google. We have a great SEO strategy in place. So we're matching, kind of those pain points that they're experiencing, the frustration with delivery management, and offering them the solution. Other channels that bring us a lot of traffic would be like LinkedIn, and then in-person events. As weird as it is to be a technology company leaning into the in-person events, we've recently attended Home Delivery World, and it was great to be in that industry space because we were able to do a lot of partnership work. So a lot of our referrals also come from the partnerships that we build with other companies that plug into our system.
Super cool. And I love too how you guys have really been elaborating on in-person events and able to attend them with being like a technology company. But I think it's great though. You're still adding that human element to it, because a lot of companies now are so remote versus where OnFleet is still able to add that human element into who they are.
Yeah, absolutely. Because humans are still very much a part of the delivery process. A human is handing a human a package. A human is doing the driving. A human is doing the routing. As much as we love to talk about AI and robots, a drone is not picking up your package and delivering it to your doorstep yet. You still need humans and drivers and things like that. So taking that human element and bringing it back to the technology, it's not just software being developed in a box. It's really got that human component to it.
I like that. So now I want to switch gears and I want to talk about the website. So in your own words, what would you say are the major strengths of the OnFleet website, and where are there opportunities for room for improvement as well?
So we love our website. I've worked very closely with the head designer of the website for the past 3 years, and he's a fantastic person. He's put a lot of thought into the UI UX of the website. So he really wants it to be a seamless experience. And if you've been on our website, it behaves as it should, right? You all go into those websites where there's bugs and things don't work and you can't click the X and everything like that. So I think the really big strength of our website, it looks nice, it functions nice, and it really talks to where people are in the buyer journey. So if you come to a landing page, we're going to focus on what you need not just what we do. So if you're coming in with a problem, we want to be addressing that problem. So we really try to focus on that and then make it easy to talk to us, like using chat features, using those smart forms, using all of that stuff to really make sure that whoever you need to talk to, you're going to get to that person first, and that the information that we're receiving from you is enough to help you out, but not so much that it's an entirely huge burden on you, right? You don't want to fill out 20 forms of information, right, to get an answer, but we need a little bit of information so we can have an intelligent conversation. So I think our website really does that very well for our prospects. And we have a pathway to encourage them to even try the product for free. We have a free trial process, which everybody loves, right? You want to see what you're buying before you buy it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Awesome. Thanks for sharing that. So now I want to talk about you as a leader. So with being the director of digital marketing and with being in this industry for so many years, what does an average day look like for you? And what are things that you have learned along the way within this journey?
Yeah. So I'm a unique marketer. I came into marketing a long time ago through the lens of design because I had a very creative mind, but I actually loved the analytics more, like the data and everything like that. So got into it there and then progressed up to where I am now, which was building and leading a team for OnFleet. I actually started for OnFleet as a contractor because I'm a marketing automation specialist for Pardot. So I've been a speaker for them for a while and doing a lot of stuff with Pardot. So I came in as a contractor and they're like, wow, you've got a lot of great skills. Let us hire you full time. Came into the marketing team. And then the previous leader departed and I took over her role and basically became the director and started building a new team. So product marketing manager, content strategist, external agencies, internal contractors, building all of that up. So my favorite part about marketing is that full life cycle. So it's not just about getting people interested, it's getting them interested, getting them good information to get them to convert if this product is right for them, and then taking care of them after they become a customer, right? Boosting their signal, giving them PR opportunities, giving them case study opportunities, giving them a chance to become a brand champion, all of that. So yeah, I really love every facet of marketing, events, PR, speaking, even the stuff that people don't really like to do. I'm like, ooh, let me do that. So that's kind of been great to grow with OnFleet as we went from, pre-Series A all the way up through Series B to kind of grow the marketing team, grow the marketing function, and then get us, to a growth pattern to go into the future.
Yeah, that's exciting. Wow. And especially too, coming from design and transitioning into this, are there any favorite aspects that you love about analytics in general, or it's just you love everything about it? There's not one that you
I love everything about analytics because it tells you the true story, right? The only time you're not going to get a true story is for those in-person events, right? You can't really quantify the in-person experience. So event management is really the only place where it's harder to put a number on it. But for everything else, it's really interesting to see because when you build marketing campaigns, you have a goal in mind. You have an idea of how you think it's going to run. You have an idea of how people are going to behave. And then you look at the data and you're like, wow, that didn't work out. And then you see another campaign over there that you're like, okay, we're going to just try it, and it blows up. So you can always look back at the data and see that clear picture. And even if you think, my marketing campaign's not working, and you look back 6 months ago and you're like, oh no, I've actually gotten, 10,000 leads off of this campaign. It's just been a slow drip instead of a rush all at once. I always love that part of it. My favorite part of marketing is actually marketing psychology. So the force behind what drives people to do things. So what is the copy that gets them to respond? What is the color palette that's going to get them interested? What's going to stop them from scrolling? All of the psychological touch points that drive people into marketing. I love to focus on that. And all of that is part of the buyer journey.
And thanks for elaborating too. I love how you have dived into marketing and you've absorbed so many things to where it's gotten you to where you are now, especially to the data analytics. There's a lot of people who they're so afraid of numbers and they're so afraid of data, but it's this is what marketing is. And, the quicker you can get over the fear and just go in and not be afraid of making mistakes, the easier it's going to be, not only with understanding within your current role, but just throughout the rest of your career as well.
Yeah, absolutely. You have to be making mistakes, right? You don't learn if you don't make mistakes. It's great to learn from other people's mistakes, but when you're going in there and building a campaign that you're sure is going to do great, and then it doesn't, it really gives you an opportunity to examine what did not work about that. Why didn't it work? And dive into that psychology piece, dive into that data and say, okay, I'm going to let the numbers tell the story, and then I'm going to go into the psychology, and then I'm going to figure this out, and then I'm going to rebuild it and do it all later. A lot of marketers get burned out because you build a campaign, you launch a campaign, you analyze the campaign, and then you got to do it all over again, right? I wrote a LinkedIn post about this a while ago. You're constantly having to reinvent the wheel, but if you're, a really passionate marketer, you love that, right? It's a new challenge. It's a new opportunity. Everything is fresh all the time, and you can just keep creating and innovating and trying new things. And that's really cool. That's what makes marketing such an interesting area to be in.
Yeah, it is. You summed it up perfectly. So now we're getting close to the end of our interview, and I'm going to send you some rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Yep, ready.
Awesome. So what is the last book that you read?
I read voraciously. So I'm reading Grit right now, The Power of Passion and Perseverance. So I've got that one on my table. I've got Lessons in Chemistry on my fiction table. I've got The Weekend Homesteader on my Audible. So I read like 6 books at a time. I'm a big book person.
Oh, I love that. Awesome. Yeah. I'm going to check out Grit. I've heard a lot of people mention this book, so I'm definitely going to check it out.
It gets into that psychology I mentioned.
Awesome. So now, if there were no boundaries in technology, what would be the one thing that you would want to have fixed in your role today as a marketer?
Ooh, I would love the big button of attribution. If there was like one big major button that you could press, and then all of a sudden you could see clear attribution on every single channel at any given time, that would be amazing. Because I feel like attribution is something marketers are always hunting for and trying to improve on.
Definitely. I'm hoping and waiting for the day that there's an AI tool that comes out with this to make all of our lives easier. I'm like banking on it. I'm hoping there is someday.
Someday. We'll get there somewhere.
Exactly. Someday. Now, what is the one piece of advice you would give yourself if you could go back and restart your journey?
Don't get overwhelmed. Focus on obtaining one skill at a time, and then just trust the process. Like, learning an industry is great, but if you focus on your skill sets within marketing, those transfer to anywhere. So I've worked in aerospace and defense, I've worked in automotive, I worked in technology, startup, SaaS, B2C, e-commerce, you name it, I've probably done it. And I'm always shocked by the fact that the skills transfer and every little thing, because people at the end of the day are people, and you get so overwhelmed by being like, oh, I have to learn all these tools, all this tech stack, like all these technologies, all these theories. I have to learn AdWords, I have to learn analytics, I have to learn demand base, I have to learn everything. No, you can focus on one principle at a time and then grow over time and learn as you're going, and it's transferable, right? You don't need 10 years of experience in software, for example. You need experience in marketing. So focus on the core marketing skills and let the industries come later.
No, I love how you summed it up to focus on one skill at a time. I've given that advice, and it's so true, because once you master one, not only is it transferable, but I agree where it helps you compound on building the rest throughout your career.
Absolutely. So I got deep in Pardot for marketing automation, and then I branched out into Marketo and HubSpot and all the other ones. And it was so easy to understand those because I already had the core principles from a different marketing automation platform.
Awesome. Thanks for sharing and elaborating on that. So now we're at the end of our interview today. And I want to thank you so much for joining us on the platform and for sharing your story here on Platform Presents. But I also want to give you the last word. If anyone were to forget about everything we talked about in your interview today, what is the one thing you want them to remember about OnFleet overall?
The one thing I want you to remember about OnFleet overall is we're making deliveries delightful and drama-free, right? It's going to make your deliveries better. End of story.
I love it. Delightful and drama-free. Yes, absolutely. I agree with you. Katherine, thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
Thank you so much.
And for all the listeners out there, check us out next week on Pop Presents.